Welcome back, everyone. I am Psycho Emerald. Today I'm back with another Star Wars The Black Series Hasbro action figure unboxing and review. Today I have the Return of the Jedi Boba Fett Deluxe release. Wow, this figure has been recommended to me quite a lot. I was on an Out of the Basement live stream and I asked, I already have the 40th anniversary Empire Strikes Back Boba Fett. Is it worth getting the Return of the Jedi one? And the general response was, yes, absolutely. Do yourself a favor and pick this one up. And this guy won on Out of the Basement Black Series Awards for 2021. It won pretty much every category. I basically left a comment saying, well, it's official. Need to get this one. And then Justin replied saying, yes, it's one of the best figures in the line. Definitely should pick it up. But I didn't pick this up myself. I received this as a Christmas gift from my grandparents. It was a little late since we were sick the week of Christmas. They weren't able to come see us then, but they came a little late to give us our gift, which is great. It's awesome to have this, and they got me this a long time ago, so it wasn't like I asked them to get me this as soon as I found out it was one of the best figures. I've been wanting this one for quite a while. I do have the Empire Strikes Back Boba Fett, but you can never have too many Boba Fetts. That's the way I see it. Boba Fett is one of the coolest characters in Star Wars, so I'm pretty happy to have this figure, so I'm excited to get it open. That was a lot of talking, so sorry about that if you lost interest, but if you're still here, thank you very much. I'm excited to open this up. It looks like it has a lot of great accessories in there with flame effects. Like, this is how you do a deluxe release, Hasbro. You don't just put them in a big box and make us pay $10 extra for a deluxe release. This is how you do it deluxe. You throw in some extra effects, some different blasters. You got the extra cut in half blaster there. Like, this is how you do a deluxe release. So, word to the wise, Hasbro, don't just put it in a big box and expect people to want to pay $10 more. So yeah, pretty cool window in the front of the box. You can see Boba Fett right there with all his accessories, which there are quite a lot. There is a window in the top of the box to let light come through, if you can see that there. There is this very cool artwork of Boba Fett right there. We have Return of the Jedi and this banner right there. This cool green color definitely goes with the theme of Return of the Jedi. Hasbro, Boba Fett, warnings, Black Series logo. Banner continues to come around. Black Series logo again. That cool artwork, just a little cropped and zoomed in. Banner comes all the way around. Number 6 in the Return of the Jedi line. Disney and Hasbro, the two companies we love and hate at the same time. Then we have Star Wars The Black Series logo up here. Boba Fett, and it says, with his customized Mandalorian armor, deadly weaponry, and silent demeanor, Boba Fett was one of the most feared bounty hunters in the galaxy. More legal stuff on the bottom there, but that's going to be about it. So, I'm excited to get this open. Let's get the trusty unboxing knife and break Boba Fett out of the package. Very excited for this. Alright, so here's the trusty unboxing knife. Just going to cut the tape up here at the top. There's quite a few pieces of tape. It used to just be like 2 pieces of tape you'd have on the top of a Black Series box back in the old red and black box line days. Kind of miss those old red and black boxes because they were kind of at the end of their run when I started collecting, but do have a fair bit of nostalgia for those old boxes. But these new boxes, I will admit, are much, much better. So let's break this out. We got kind of this cover over the figure like that. Oh man, I'm really excited for this. So let's break this stuff out of packaging. Starting with this blaster. I like to start with the stuff that's not taped in or anything like that. So we got the blaster here. It's a EE3, I believe it's called. So that's very cool. We'll get onto that in a minute. More blaster pieces right here. And this does have a bit of tape. Alright, so got that out. And then we've got this up here, this rocket piece that goes on the jetpack. And we take the jetpack out right here. It's pretty stiff. We can get that out. And all the flame pieces appear to just be able to be removed as well. Big one right here. Very cool. And then the figure itself, we have whatever this thing is. Looks like a grappling hook of sorts. So let's get Boba Fett himself out of the package, and that's still stuck. Alright, so I'll get all the excess packaging out of the way and we will check out the figure. Okay, so here we have Boba Fett and all of his accessories. I did put the backpack along with the rocket on his back because I thought that was pretty much that's how he's always going to be. You're not going to want to have him with the backpack off. But I did notice it is quite annoying the way they did this. Because the peg holes have to be lined up with the holes in the armor, which is kind of this rubber material, and there's 3 different holes. At first I saw it and I was like, okay, good, I'm familiar with that. That's what the Empire Strikes Back one is like, but no, this one's different because you have to get it through these holes. Like, these are actual holes instead of just places for these to kind of hold it in place, but they're actual holes, and you have to peg it through that, and you have to make sure the rubber armor is lined up with the holes underneath it. So it's a little bit annoying, and it does take a bit of work to kind of make sure that you get it in there right, because you can end up messing up the rubber and bending it. Yeah, so that's just something to be aware of. Don't want to mess up the back of Boba Fett's armor so that you can't get the jetpack on, because you definitely want to be able to have that jetpack on there. And another thing you will notice immediately once you see the figure is the helmet is not the right shape, but I have seen a video from Matt Bryant, a supporter of the channel. He also does figure reviews. He does a great job. Go check out his channel if you haven't. He's also on my recommended channels on my homepage. He has a video on how to fix this. You just kind of heat it up with a hairdryer or hot water, and you should be able to just push down on the center of the helmet, and it will put it back to being as wide as it needs to be there. So yeah, that's pretty simple fix for that, and I might do that later. And yeah, but it's pretty cool looking figure. All the weathering and chipping on everything, the detail looks fantastic. I like that this is vinyl. The other one was cool. It was a soft goods cape, but this one is nicer. It is different than the one in Empire Strikes Back, which is kind of cool that they made sure to get that right. And I like that it's made out of this vinyl rubber material instead of out of the soft goods material they used for the other one, because this rests a lot better. That one kind of gets in the way on the old one, which we will do a comparison with the old one later. And we've got the yellow shoulder pads once more with some really good dents and chipping. The helmet as well got all sorts of good weathering and chipping on it, so it does give it a very realistic look, and that's definitely the coolest thing about this figure. Same with the jetpack. It just has a very realistic, screen accurate look to it, so I'm pretty happy with the way this looks. And yeah, let's check out some of his accessories. So we already went over how the backpack pegs into the back, but this very easily just slots into the top of this, which is nice. So that's the rocket piece. And then we've also got all sorts of accessories down here. So we've got these flame effects. There's two of these ones, one of these. This one's for his wrist, so you can have him shooting the flamethrower out of the wrist. And then this one, these ones are for his jetpack, which will be very cool to use as well. So yeah, these are very cool. They kind of start with this yellow and they get redder as it goes along, which is cool. And yeah, so let's check out his blasters. So here's the first blaster. It is an EE3, I believe. So it is different from the one he had in Empire Strikes Back. And it is very cool. It doesn't have as much paint as the Empire Strikes Back version does. This one's kind of just all kind of brown and black. It's not really painted with the silver you would expect on the stock here, which would have been nice if they included that, but they didn't. But otherwise, it's a very well sculpted weapon here. It'll look very cool in his hands. Let's check out the other one. Okay, and here is the second blaster, which actually is two pieces. So it can be like when Luke Skywalker cuts his blaster rifle in half in Return of the Jedi. So that's pretty cool. They kind of have this yellow paint going on here to make it look like it's been cut in half by a lightsaber. So that's pretty cool to include, especially if you do have a Return of the Jedi Luke to go with him. And now let's check out his grappling hook. Here's his grappling hook, which I believe he did use in the movie. I do somewhat remember that, and it does go onto his wrist like this. It came like that, actually. The figure in the box came with this attached to the wrist. So you have it like that, shooting the grappling hook out, which is kind of cool. But you would need something to hold it up, so I don't know how useful that would be. Or maybe you could have him grappling onto someone, which would be kind of interesting. But yeah, I wouldn't display him using that, but it is cool that it is included. Trying out the flame accessory. First we have his flame club saber thing, because everyone knows that scene where he fights Luke Skywalker on the sail barge with his own type of lightsaber. Is kind of a flame club thing. Very iconic scene, and I think it fits well into his hand. It works pretty well. I'm just joking. I love laughing at myself. No, I'm just kidding. I couldn't find where to peg this in. So if any of you have this figure, I couldn't find anything on the wrist where I could peg it in. It looks like it has a peg hole at the bottom of it. Like, oh wait. Oh wait, I figured it out. Slowly realization dawns upon me. Okay, I figured it out. Okay, I was being dumb. I figured it out. So that I thought the peg hole was like a round peg hole, but I found that it was shaped perfectly to fit on this. So be aware of that. I don't know if anyone else has had that problem, but it fits really well once you find how it actually is supposed to go on the wrist. Wow, the articulation, there is a lot of it. So you can kind of have him shooting it like that, which is very cool. There is a lot of articulation on this thing. It's easy for it to get kind of messed up, but I don't know. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. That looks good. Yeah, I'm just having a lot of fun. All right, so there's the way that one goes on. Let's try the jetpack effects. So there's how the jetpack effects go onto the backpack. It does take a little bit of effort to get them to stay there, but yeah, it worked out pretty well. So let's put the backpack back on here, like that. And there you go. So you have Boba Fett flying. Very cool. Yeah, cool accessories. Glad they included those. Very fun. So let's see how the blaster fits into his hand. There, I got him in a cool pose. I was just going to show the blaster, but then I put it like this and thought I should put the flame effect on. But we're checking out the blaster. Fits well into his hand. This one could go into his hand probably exactly the same way, but doesn't need to. And yeah. So let's check out the articulation on Boba Fett. Okay, so going over articulation on Boba Fett, he's got some great articulation at the head. He can tilt side to side, look up slightly, and look down quite a lot. He's got articulation at the shoulders that lift up. There's also a swivel at the shoulder, even though it is a little bit hard to use. There's a swivel at the elbow, actually 2 swivels at the elbow, but there is an extra point of articulation there, which I don't know how I feel about that. Don't feel like it's needed. Single joint at the elbow, a swivel at the gauntlet, as well as a swivel at the wrist, and a hinge at the wrist as well. There is a ball joint at the waist, and there is a lift up at the leg. Not gonna go back and lift out, and a thigh swivel, as well as a single hinged knee, and a rocker and pivot at the ankle. So, very good articulation. I've heard great things about the articulation on this thing, so you can get Boba Fett into some really, really cool poses. So, let me get him into a cool pose, and I'll give you guys a closer look at Return of the Jedi Boba Fett. All right, so for a quick comparison, I'm going to put him side by side with the Empire Strikes Back version of Boba Fett from the Black Series. So here we have the Empire Strikes Back version, and you can see they are very, very different. Let's get the blaster out of the way here, and we can see just how different these guys are. They are very, very different. The colors to the sculpt. Which one do I think is superior? This one, the articulation is much, much better. This one, I love this figure, and articulation isn't usually my #1 priority when it comes to a figure, so I still loved this figure as one of my favorites. But this one has the articulation to back up all this detail on it, so I think I'd have to say this one is the superior of the two. But I think they're both great. I think the colors are probably more accurate on this one, and really, this one looks completely different to me now that I have it next to this one. So I do think this one is a superior figure, and I'm very happy to have both, because you can't ever have too many Boba Fetts. That's the way I feel. Like, there's so many different versions of Boba Fett now. I'm wanting to get the Disney Plus Boba Fett. The Black Series version, probably not, but the Vintage Collection version looks really good. Like, at first I wanted the Black Series version, but then I saw the Vintage Collection one. So, kind of going off on a rabbit trail. Tython Boba Fett I also would like to have. So yeah, can never have too many Boba Fetts. That's the point I'm trying to make. But yeah, let's get this Boba Fett here out of the way, and I'll give you my finishing thoughts on Return of the Jedi Deluxe Boba Fett. Alright, so my finishing thoughts on this review. I would say that there are some things. I don't think this is the best Black Series figure ever. I don't think it's the best one of 2021. That's just my opinion. I do think it is fantastic and probably the best Boba Fett they've ever made. But best figure, probably not. There's things I don't like. Like, I know it's an easy fix for the helmet, but you really shouldn't have to do that. I'm going to be trying to do that fix, but I don't think you should have to use a hairdryer or hot water to fix something that just shouldn't be an issue on a figure. Like, you pay for a figure, you expect it. Like, it's obviously wasn't sculpted this way. It's just got messed up when it's in the packaging, and that's a mistake. But it seems like something we shouldn't have to fix as collectors, as customers, but we do. And it's not a big deal, but I think that does hold the figure back a little bit. Also, the elbow joints, I know that's a nitpick. I don't like them. It doesn't feel like I'm getting extra articulation there. It just feels like a nuisance because it gets the arms all out of whack, especially with Boba Fett with his gauntlets and everything. It just makes it difficult to get the exact poses you want and difficult to get the arms back into the position they're supposed to be in. So it's just a little bit of an annoyance instead of feeling like an extra feature to me. So little problems, but overall, fantastic sculpt, fantastic detail. The detail is definitely what brings this figure, like, up to the top. Like, one of the best Black Series figures, yes. Best, no. But the detail and the sculpt and the articulation is just the icing on the cake. And accessories as well. Plenty of different accessories. You know, you've got the cut-in-half blaster. You've got the flame effects. So it's like you got all sorts of different stuff that comes with this. This is how you do a deluxe figure, Hasbro. Pat on the back for Hasbro, because this is a fantastic figure. So I highly recommend picking it up, even if you have the old Boba Fett like I do. This is one you definitely should pick up, and I'm glad that I received it as a gift. So I hope you guys enjoyed this review. If you did, please leave a like. If you like Star Wars The Black Series, I do a lot of Black Series reviews on my channel. My channel is mainly focused on Star Wars and Marvel figure reviews, so if that's something you're interested in, please consider subscribing. I would really appreciate it. We recently made it over 200 subscribers, so thank you all so much for subscribing. I really cannot tell you enough how much I appreciate that. And yeah, I really enjoyed making this review. Hope you guys have enjoyed watching it. So yeah, hope you guys found this review helpful. Hope you found it enjoyable. And I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye.